You know that moment when you think you've heard it all? Well, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you will literally blow your mind. Picture this. You're at your ex-husband's funeral, trying to pay your respects, when his new wife leans over and whispers something so shocking that it changes everything. And here's the kicker. I caught every single word on recording. I'm Sarah, and 3 years ago, my world completely fell apart when my husband of 15 years, Marcus, decided he wanted a fresh start. That's code for, I found someone younger and prettier. Enter Jessica, 28, blonde, and everything I apparently wasn't anymore at 42. The divorce was brutal. Marcus fought me tooth and nail over everything. The house, custody of our 2 kids, even our dog Buddy. He had this expensive lawyer who made my life absolute hell. Meanwhile, Jessica was posting pictures of their romantic getaways on social media while I was working double shifts just to afford my tiny apartment. But here's where it gets interesting. 6 months ago, Marcus had a massive heart attack. He was only 45. The doctors said it was stress-related, probably from his high-pressure job and, well, let's just say his lifestyle choices weren't the healthiest. Now, I won't lie to you, when I got that call, I felt complicated. This was the father of my children, the man I'd loved for over a decade. Despite everything he put me through, I still cared about him as a person. So when the funeral came around, I decided to attend. For my kids, for closure, for whatever reason you want to call it. I wore my black dress, not too fancy, just respectful. I wasn't trying to make a statement or anything dramatic. The service was at this beautiful old church downtown. Jessica had gone all out, expensive flowers everywhere, a professional pianist, the works. She was sitting in the front row, playing the grieving widow perfectly. Designer black dress, just the right amount of tears, the whole performance. I sat near the back with my kids, Tommy and Emma. They were handling it better than I expected, but you know kids, they're resilient. During the service, people kept getting up to share memories about Marcus. His business partner talked about his dedication. His brother shared childhood stories. Normal funeral stuff. But then something weird happened. During one of the quieter moments, I heard Jessica talking to her friend sitting next to her. Now, I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but my phone was in my purse, and I'd accidentally started a voice memo earlier when I was fumbling around looking for tissues. The app was still recording. That's when I heard it. Jessica leaned over to her friend and whispered, "Finally. Do you know how exhausting it was pretending to love that controlling jerk? 3 more months, and I would have divorced him anyway. At least now I get everything without the legal fees." My blood ran cold. Did she really just say that? At his funeral? I mean, I knew their marriage wasn't exactly a fairy tale. Marcus had called me a few times over the past year, usually after a few drinks, complaining about how different Jessica was from when they were dating. But this? Her friend whispered back, "What about the life insurance?" Jessica actually smiled at her husband's funeral and said, $2 million. Plus the house, the business, everything. I've been researching how to sell his company for months. Marcus was so paranoid about his health lately, constantly worried about his heart. Made it so easy to encourage certain lifestyle choices. I'm sitting there trying to process what I'm hearing while my ex-husband's casket is literally 10 feet away. This woman is talking about his death, like it's some kind of business transaction. But wait, it gets worse. The best part, Jessica continued, is that his ex-wife gets absolutely nothing. He changed his will right after we got married. She doesn't even know that he cut the kids' college funds in half to buy me that Mercedes. That Mercedes. The one she'd been driving around town, posting pictures with captions like "blessed" and "living my best life." Meanwhile, I'd been telling Tommy he might need to consider community college because money was tight. Now, here's where my story takes a turn. Remember that voice memo I mentioned? Well, I had 43 minutes of crystal clear audio of Jessica's entire conversation. Every sick, twisted word. After the funeral, I went home and listened to the whole thing. There was more, so much more. She talked about hiding Marcus's heart medication when he was stressed about work. She mentioned encouraging him to eat foods she knew would spike his blood pressure. She even bragged about how she'd convinced him to increase his life insurance policy just 6 months before he died. I couldn't sleep that night. Or the next night. This woman had basically— I'm not a lawyer, but this sounded like murder to me. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I made copies of that recording and took it straight to the police. Detective Morrison was the one who took my statement. He was this older guy, probably close to retirement, and he listened to that entire recording without saying a word. When it finished, he just looked at me and said, "Ma'am, I think we need to have a much longer conversation." Turns out, the police had already been looking into Marcus's death. His doctor had flagged some irregularities in his medical records, medications that had gone missing, dietary changes that didn't make sense given his previous health consciousness. But they didn't have enough evidence to pursue anything. Until now. The investigation moved fast after that. They obtained warrants for Jessica's phone records, her computer, everything. What they found was devastating. Text messages to her ex-boyfriend about waiting for the old man to kick the bucket. Internet searches for how long does it take for heart medication to leave someone's system. Purchase records for foods and supplements that were basically poison for someone with Marcus's condition. But here's the thing that still gives me chills. In one text message, Jessica had written, "I just have to keep playing the loving wife for a few more months. Then I'll be free and rich." The trial lasted 3 weeks. The recording I'd accidentally made was the key piece of evidence. Jessica's defense attorney tried everything, claimed I'd fabricated it, said it was taken out of context, argued it was inadmissible. But the jury heard her voice, her words, her complete lack of remorse. She got 25 years to life. Now, I want to be clear about something. I didn't go to that funeral looking for revenge. I didn't plan any of this. Sometimes justice just happens in the most unexpected ways. The kids and I inherited everything after all. The house, the business, Marcus's life insurance. Turns out Jessica's version of his will was actually forged. The real will, filed with his lawyer, had never been changed. But you know what the real victory was? My kids got to see that their father's death mattered. That there are consequences when someone takes a life, even in the sneaky, calculated way Jessica did. Tommy's at his dream college now, studying engineering. Emma just got accepted to art school with a full scholarship, funded by her dad's trust fund that Jessica never knew existed. As for me, I'm doing better than I have in years. I bought a house with a big backyard for Buddy, started my own business, and most importantly, I can sleep at night knowing that justice was served. Sometimes people ask me if I feel bad about what happened to Jessica. Here's my answer. I feel bad that Marcus is gone. I feel bad that my kids lost their father. I feel bad that greed and manipulation exist in this world. But do I feel bad that a murderer is behind bars? Not for 1 second. The moral of this story isn't about revenge. It's about truth. Sometimes the truth comes out in the most unexpected ways, through accidental recordings and overheard conversations. Sometimes justice happens when you least expect it. And sometimes, the people who think they're the smartest ones in the room are actually digging their own graves. Quite literally. If this story taught you anything today, hit that like button and subscribe to Ultimate Family Dramas for more unbelievable true stories. Trust me, we've got plenty more where this came from. Because life, as they say, is stranger than fiction.